Hello everyone. Today we reveal a crazy decision to resign. Bill has a new replacement ready. Rachel received a scary call. Don't ask. Frank decided to brave it alone and went to the balcony to gaze at the sea like a moody poet. He wanted some peace, and at that moment, his boss just happened to be there. Rachel seemed to be waiting forever. She confided in Frank, asking for protection for her until Frank told Rachel that he couldn't protect her now because he foolishly fell for her. This gave the enemy the upper hand. But this time, Rachel nodded. Frank felt danger near, his heart racing. He chose to leave with Rachel, cancelling the concert. Rachel agreed generously. It felt like a thriller. Frank took Rachel, her kid, her sister, and the driver, all heading to Frank's old house, master of the winter once culprit found. Rachel returns to work, chatting happily with Frank's dad. Frank's dad apologized to Rachel for being out of touch for years, but he secretly knew she must be amazing. During dinner, everyone was having a blast listening to Frank's dad share some blackmail stories from Frank's childhood. Just when everyone was ready to sleep, Frank walked Rachel to her room, and the night was so quiet, you could hear the wind. At that moment, Sister Nigel found Frank, trying to get closer. But Frank decisively rejected her, leaving Nigel heartbroken. The two sisters could have been a duo, but Frank had a crush. Why choose one? Better to patrol than climb. Suddenly, he saw suspicious footprints, and way off, spotted his and his dad's fancy prints. Frank sensed danger and dashed toward Flo in the water, but the kid slipped out like a pro. Frank snagged Flo with one hand and swiftly swam towards the shore, moving with the agility of an otter. Just then, something unexpected happened. The assassin tracking Rachel is here. Everyone packed quickly, like in war, preparing to escape. Dad discovered the phone line was cut, and both cars wouldn't start, panicking like ants on a hot pan. No choice but to wait till morning. In the dark, Frank, gun in hand, patrolled the living room. Suddenly, he saw Nigel crying. Hey, he wasn't Superman, so he hurried over to ask what was up. Nigel confessed she hired the assassin, but didn't want to hurt Flora, though she ended up revealing her own cards. The threatening letters had nothing to do with her. All her thoughts were laid out in those letters. She hated her sister, and it all stemmed from there. Flo almost lost her life because of it. Nigel hoped Frank could stop the assassin. Frank didn't blame her and left helplessly. After all, it all happened so fast. Suddenly, Frank heard noises and dashed to Rachel's room, only to hear gunfire downstairs as Nigel collapsed. Frank jumped out the window decisively, finally spotting the assassin, like playing hide and seek. In the pitch-black night, hard to find, Frank relied on ears, eyes closed, listening closely. Unfortunately, the other party was a pro-hitman, and Frank let him escape in the end. In the morning, Frank received a call from a colleague. They caught the guy who wrote the threatening letters as superfans surrounded by Rachel's poster. This guy had an off-road vehicle, just like the one-stop shop outside the mansion. Frank finally realized the threats were unrelated to the assassin. Rachel's manager, Nigel, was in trouble, and it couldn't wait. Nigel's funeral was in full swing, Rachel crying into her drink like a movie scene. The Oscar ceremony was about to start. Rachel knew the danger but insisted on going. Her achievements were hard-earned. Backstage, Frank ran into old colleague Bowman, who casually mentioned he took on a short-term. This was practically a bodyguard assignment, and Frank's heart was racing, suddenly. Security at the scene stopped Frank, teasing that he couldn't use radio, making everyone anxious. Frank rushed backstage to warn Rachel, but she insisted on hitting the stage so glamorous. Suddenly, Rachel felt the danger. The audience looked like hitmen, until she opened the Oscar list and it exploded. She couldn't control herself, bolting off the stage, but it was just a figment. The host continued with the award announcement. Rachel blamed her sudden anxiety on Frank, while he remained unbothered. He was only concerned about the bodies around the male host, since old colleague Bowman let it slip. He quickly informed Rachel that he knew the assassin's identity, but Rachel was firing on all cylinders. Frank almost got Rachel mad. With money riding on her shoulders, who dared to think about it? Just then, during the award ceremony, Frank sensed something wrong again and quickly alerted Tony to hurry over. What? That suspicious guy with the camera, could it be Bowman? But when Tony got across, Bowman took him down in one move, no doubt about it. Rachel walked through the crowd with a smile, while Frank was the only one tense, holding his gun high. Just as Rachel was about to go on stage, Frank lunged at her like a balloon. The crowd roared, drowning out the gunfire with cheers, but Frank became the shocking centerpiece. Just as Bowman prepared to take a second shot, he was taken down by a mystery, and Rachel finally noticed Frank was covered in blood.